Hello there, this is Red Joy, and we are back with our favorite arcane spells for Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. This is our level 7 list, where we're going to take a look at 3 of our favorite level 7 spells. Now before I do want to give appreciation to the guides that have been put out by both West J and Devayorn. I put those in the description below. They're fantastic. They go through all the spells in the game. Here we're just going through our favorite three that I really enjoy using when I do my playthroughs. It's not meant to be a real power game list, but it is meant to be kind of just personal picks of what I tend to go to when I get to this level. Level 7 is pretty interesting in the fact that on the surface it doesn't actually have a huge number of superpowered spells. There are spells here that are good, and I really enjoy taking them. Spells like the 2 honorable mentions that I'll mention right now, which I include Mass Invisibility, which is really good for making all of your party members invisible, and Ruby Ray Reversal, which is a good additional debuff spell that you can whip on against enemy mages who try to cast things or try to buff themselves. There are other spell levels that have more power to them. Level 6 and level 8 seem to just have a huge number of spells that have a lot of power to them. I would not consider holding back on this spell level just because there's not as many good options. The first one I'm going to go with is Spell Sequencer. This is yet another lovely upgrade to Minor Sequencer. It allows for you to store spell levels up to level 4, which means that you can store Stone Skin, you can store Haste, buff your entire party, you can store any of the level 1 and 2 spells, but that was the same for Minor Sequencer, and you get 3 spells that you can pop in there. So basically it's a big updated version of Minor Sequencer, and I really enjoy it. Now the usefulness of this is that you could store 3 direct damage spells. So if you have 3 magic missiles and you want to launch 15 magical missiles at an opponent, you could do that. That's actually a really, really good thing. Good way to get rid of a caster who has Stone Skin up. Just wipe away all of his Stone Skins with a spell sequenced 15 magic missile barrage. You could also do buff spells. You can also do buff spells like Stone Skin and then Haste and then Mirror Image. Basically make yourself, especially if you're a fighter mage, make yourself just perfect in combat, then just jump right in and deal some damage. So really you have a lot of good options when you hop into this. So let's do that. And the nice part is it's permanent. You can release at any time. You don't have to have a trigger on it like other spells, but those spells aren't bad. I personally like to be able to control when it happens. So Spell Sequencer, definitely worth taking. I really enjoy it. The next spell that I really enjoy using is Project Image. Project Image it's kind of like astral projection, right? You get the ability to get a second version of yourself while you sit tight. Now hopefully you have somebody to guard your backside while your image goes around and casts spells. You can use it in conjunction with things like Spell Immunity and Wizard Eye to get yourself a free scout, and basically to go forth and actually do damage while you sit happily in the back. There are enemies that will teleport to you and will kill you, so be careful of that. Again, make sure you have someone back there to guard yourself. But you can use this, and when you cast it, you can get all of the same spells that you would normally get, and you can cast them. So, for example, if I wanted to use... you don't get the sequencer, but you do get the ability to use Stone Skin. You get all of the high-level abilities. Very well. You're essentially able to have a second version of yourself. It will be dispelled by anti-illusion magic, by divination spells, something like True Sight. But if you cast Spell Immunity, divination on yourself, then you're protected from that. So really, this is just a really good spell that you can use to get yourself additional castings. Imagine if you are a cleric mage. You can use this to have additional castings of healing spells if you need to heal up. Really good for if you're in the middle of a dungeon. So a fantastic spell. Really, really, really enjoy it. Now the last spell that I'm going to recommend as my favorite spell is Mordenkainer's Sword. Mordenkainen's Sword is just such a great tank, right? So allow me to explain why it's such a great tank. First off, it is immune to all damage types except for magical damage. It's immune to, get ready for a list, paralysis, stun, sleep, hold, charm, panic, blindness, being deafened, being feeble-minded, being confused, being polymorphed, being petrified, being poisoned, being intelligence drained, and immune to psionic attacks. And it has an AC of -20 and hits with a +4 enchantment here. Does 5d4 damage. That's up to, that's between 5 to 20 damage. That's pretty good. This is your tank. This is the thing that up until you get Solars and up until you get something that are insanely powerful, sorry, not Solars, Planetars, this will be your quintessential tank. This will basically take any fight that you need to take. Now the downside is it only gets 1 attack per round, right? Guess what else you could do with it? You can use improved haste on it. Now that was only against the thugs, so, not exactly the pinnacle of great combat expertise. But imagine having this thing against Mind Flayers. Imagine having it against other enemies that are not using magical damage, right? Against magical damage, you're going to have to be very careful with it, because it will take magic damage. If I were to cast Magic Missile, we'll see what happens. Yep, takes damage. And I would also add that it doesn't have a huge number of HP. So if you cast something like Skull Trap on it, it will die. It has something like 36 HP to it. So you're not talking about something that has a huge amount of HP for a summon. It just has a ton of immunities. Like, it's astonishing how many immunities it has. So the fact that you can toss this into a fight against fire giants, you can toss this into a fight against a lot of enemy spellcasters, particularly clerics, ones that are not using magical damage, this will do a great job. Just be careful, magic damage will destroy it, and it lasts for a decent amount of time. Not quite as long as Animate Dead, but I'd say it's still a fantastic summon to use, especially if you just need something to help out your front line while your other casters and your other characters are doing all sorts of stuff. So I really enjoy it. I think it's a really good summon. It's probably one of my favorite summons in the game. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video that looked at my favorite level 7 spells. This is, I would say, it's a deceptively powerful spell level in the fact that you can do quite a bit with it. You can set up some really good summons, both with Project Image, which isn't a conventional summon, but it is a type of summon, as well as, of course, Mordenkainen's Sword, and having Spell Sequencer there to buff up yourself in the midst of combat is really good as well. So, if you like my videos, please make sure you leave the video a like, comment, subscribe, and also make sure you check out the other spell guides from West J and Devayorn. They put a lot of work into them, and they're fantastic. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and good luck. We're all counting on you.